Using a cycle lane around what looked like a rather large obstacle.
Gets his head down, he's in a time trialing position.
This is The Domestics, presented by Team Sunweb.
Yes, hello again from the Domestics, and a big show, a real big show coming up with a very special guest joining us. I'll give you a clue just to kick things off. He's a stage winner at the Tour de France in 2022. He's from Canberra, which might narrow it down a little bit more. Here's another clue. He rides for Bike Exchange, and this is probably the one that'll kick it off for you at home, wherever you're listening. They call him Bling. Yes, you know who it is. It's Michael Matthews, and fresh from his Stage 14 triumph at the Tour. He'll be joining us very shortly. So the Domestics is on right here, right now. It's Monday, July the 18th. Well, it's been a real hot summer here in Europe, and this is a topic we'll discuss over the next 30 minutes or so. 40-degree temperatures today. It's been the hottest Tour that I can remember for quite a long time. We haven't seen a drop of rain since day one in Copenhagen. But Copenhagen, it's always wet and cool up there. But we haven't seen a drop of rain during the course of the Tour on French soil. It's a big welcome to Matilda Reynolds. And Tills, it's hot, and that is really a talking point in this year's Tour. How are you going?
Yeah, it's absolutely. It looks, they're talking about the heat waves, that it's never been hotter, and I think it's really calling into a lot of question about whether even today's stage should have gone ahead with trucks going ahead of the peloton, putting water on the road while bushfires are happening a few kilometres away. So every other sport has a heat policy, and I think the UCI or the ASO is going to have to look into it this coming year. But yeah, I can't wait to get our special guest's thoughts on it all.
Yeah, we'll get Michael Matthews' thoughts in just a moment. Let's bring in Hollywood. Lee Turner. Hey, Hollywood, it was a real horrible day for Jumbo-Visma. Primoz Roglic was allowed to leave the Tour at the start of the day after a series of injuries. But I'm starting to wonder if that decision may rue the team. Steven Kruijswijk is also out. So the team is down to 5 lieutenants for the yellow jersey. He also came down, scuffed his yellow jersey. And I'm talking about Tadej Pogacar. But Kruijswijk was also forced to go home. What do you make of Jumbo now? They're sort of in a vulnerable position compared to 24 hours ago.
Honestly, Mike, who cares? Michael Matthews is about to dial in, and he won yesterday's Jumbo who? I want to speak to Michael Matthews, mate.
All right, well, let's ask him. Michael Matthews, how are you, mate?
I'm good. Still got a big smile on my face.
You sure have. First of all, the weather. How has it affected you? How has it affected the other riders? 40-degree temperatures.
Yeah, well, it's not just been today. It's been for a long time now. Basically, since we left Copenhagen, it's been horrendous, really. Also, the racing that we've been doing, the parcours that we've had this year in the Tour de France, it didn't allow any lull or any pure sprint stages, really, since we left Denmark. So every day has been raced like a one-day race. So it's been really hectic, and with this heat, it's on the limit for sure.
Bling, you've won a few stages at the Tour and other races, of course, in your career. How special was this one? You said at the post-race interview that you always believe in yourself. You never stop believing. Was there a time in the last 5 years when you went through that lean period? You spoke about the roller coaster ride. Was there a time in the last 5 years when you thought, I'm not going to be able to step on that top podium again?
Yeah, I think that thought always goes through your head. But in the end, you have to keep believing. Otherwise, what do we work so hard for in our sport? I mean, to stand on that podium in the Tour de France on the top step is what we all work so hard for. And if you don't believe that, you're not going to put everything into it. You're not going to put your heart and soul into trying to achieve that goal. And I mean, for sure, deep down, you're thinking, oh, can I really do it? But for sure, you just never give up and you just keep on trying. And I think that's also the story of my Tour de France this year so far. I was second 2 times to two amazing riders with Tadej Pogacar and Wout van Aert. So, I mean, I'm around the best in the world still. So I think from that moment, I got my confidence even higher than probably before those stages. And then, I knew that if the opportunity arose, I needed to take it. And yesterday the opportunity came to me.
Tell me something. When you were on that final climb and you had the gap, and then that EF rider caught you, and then went past you, did you think that's it? I'm gone, or what did you think? What did you think when that happened?
There was a lot of thoughts going through my head, but I had Matty Heyman as my DS in the race behind me in the breakaway, and he was cool as a cucumber. He was talking me through it, just making sure that I did my own pace from bottom to top. He was giving me the time gaps to Bettiol behind. I mean, I have quite a lot of experience in cycling now, and I sort of know what people can do, their numbers. And I knew what numbers I was doing in that moment, and I knew for him to get across to me, he must have burnt a lot of matches. And so I thought, okay, well, he will attack me straight away. I know that. That's exactly what I would do if I was him. But I knew if he went all the way to the top at this speed, it would be very difficult. So I just continued riding my pace. And when it flattened off a little bit, that's where I could really put the power down and do my max effort for the last sort of, 300 meters of the climb to get back to the wheel and come at him with speed to then continue to attack over the top.
So I couldn't believe it when you did attack over the top.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really normally my style. Normally people would say I was going to wait for a sprint. But, I mean, I had that opportunity. I took it. It worked out. And I think winning a stage like that in the Tour de France solo will maybe never happen to me again. Maybe I might win a sprint. But getting the opportunity to win solo was very special. And I think, yeah, that's the way I always train. I mean, when I'm training with Tadej, we attack each other like this every single training day until one can't attack anymore. And I think putting that to the race yesterday, the training and the practice that we've been doing on each other was extra special. But when I turned around and I saw Bettiol's head drop, it felt like a boxing match where we were just like throwing punches at each other and then just waiting for someone to crack. And yeah, it was me that cracked him. So I was super happy, and I got to enjoy the final then.
Sorry, Bling. Lee's internet there is he's got like the internet fibers were laid before Christ there, but so it's a little bit delayed. We mate, before we talk about your bromance and friendship with Pogačar, I just talk us through that last 100, 200 meters of that stage. It's every professional cyclist's dream. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's something I've dreamed about my whole career, basically. To ride into a Tour de France, finish solo, and be able to actually enjoy it. I've won stages of the Tour de France before, but it was always throwing to the line or just beating the guy next to you, so you can't really enjoy it as much as something like this. So, I mean, I didn't really know what to do. Like, I came around the final corner, I was like, do I salute now, or do I go all the way to the line, or what do I do? But in that moment, it was just pure emotion. I think all those years of trying so hard to get another stage win all came down into that 300 meters where I did my sort of punching salute, where it's like I keep punching and I keep getting back up and I never give up, and trying to G up the crowd to get more excited. And then, yeah, obviously the angel with the head back across the finish line was, truly special. I mean, it's hard to put into words, really, that final few hundred meters, but I will remember it for the rest of my life, that's for sure.
And so will we. Hey, Blinger, I've been meaning to ask you this question for a long, long time. You joined the Orica Groenewegen team, and then you left them. I think, and then you joined Sunweb, and you enjoyed wonderful success there, and you got yourself the green jersey. And I don't know exactly what happened and why you left the Australian registered team, but you came back. What was the reason for that? I just got the impression you weren't happy at Groenewegen, but you came back.
No,
Why?
it wasn't. I wasn't happy. I mean, the team had different goals they wanted to go down, and different riders they wanted to achieve those goals with. And my rider mold didn't fit into that. they wanted to go really GC, which, yeah, for me, I'm not a GC rider, and they wanted to really focus on the general classifications in Grand Tours. So, I mean, that's their decision. It obviously worked out quite well. I think they got a Vuelta win. I think a few podiums in the Giro, and a couple of white jerseys along the way. So, I mean, they had quite a lot of good success. And I think for me, getting the opportunity to join Team Sunweb at the time, it was a great opportunity. And like you say, I had really, really good results there. So, I mean, I took that opportunity with both hands and made it as good as I could. I mean, 2 stages in the Tour de France, a green jersey, I think 2 times Quebec, Montreal, a fair few victories. I mean, I was a fairly good few years. And I think when my journey with that team came to an end, when they had a different idea of where they wanted to go also, Team Bike Exchange offered me the opportunity to come back and to play that role that I was sort of in before. And I was super happy about that. When Jerry gave me the phone call and was super keen to have me back, I took the opportunity with both hands.
And Bling, so how was it for you when they announced that they were signing Dylan Groenewegen? Were you concerned there, or what role he was going to play? And then how have you had to evolve your role within the team?
To be honest, I was actually excited. I mean, last year for us in Team Bike Exchange was difficult. We didn't have a pure sprinter to get multiple wins in the year, and you know how it is. Wins brings confidence to the team, and confidence brings more wins. So once you get that ball rolling with a sprinter, it always boosts the morale of the team. They get much more opportunities to win stages, and like Dylan has this year, he's also brought a lot of morale and confidence to the team. So I got a call from the team before it was actually announced to tell me that he was coming, which was really nice from the team. But they also mentioned to me that it wouldn't change anything of my race program personally. It would actually just be better for me because I can really focus on more of the races that do suit me better, which are not pure flat sprints, and which was great because then it took a lot of pressure off me to not have to think about those races.
Michael, just on Dylan, he has, I wouldn't say he's been struggling, but he's been forced to chase whenever there's a sprint situation. Is calling on you still an option if you're in a better position for the sprint than Dylan, if that scenario unfolds?
You mean like deep in the final, like in the lead out, if he's not there?
Absolutely.
No, I mean, we are really trying to build a process and build towards something with the team at the moment to really nail that lead out and not be thinking, if Dylan's not there, Michael, you sprint. It's more like we're all in for Dylan to make sure he can get the best opportunity to win. And it's all a process, you know how it is. We haven't actually worked together before this Tour de France. So this is our first race together, which is, a bit strange coming into a Tour de France, not working with the guy that you have to try and lead out. But I mean, I think it's worked pretty well so far. We have a stage win with him. I mean, we didn't do the perfect job on the day that he won, but we surrounded him until he needed to get out with another guy. Armand took him out with, I think, 1 kilometer to go. We were a bit stuck on the barrier, so they went to the other side. But to that point, we rode really well together. So yeah, it's all a process. I think it's all about getting to know each other and learning what each other needs and wants in a final. And for me, I think it's actually great because I can focus on what I really enjoy in cycling, which is, the more punchier sort of races.
Tell me, I see that you're back on Giant, which is great, and you've got the new Giant shoes and you're riding a new Giant Propel. Can you tell me what's different about this new Propel, and are the shoes any good? Can you tell me that?
How did you know about my shoes? That was sneaky. They're just plain white. Impressive.
Yeah, I know everything. I enlarge it.
Details.
Bling, he tells me how to dress. He reckons my fashion sense is terrible.
No,
Did Giant ask you to ask that question?
No, they didn't. I love Giant. I'm a Giant man.
Good man. No, the new Propel is amazing. It's faster than the old Propel in the wind tunnel, and it's lighter. So I'm not actually allowed to say the weight They want to announce it themselves, but it's lighter, and very impressively lighter also. I mean, I was basically riding a sprint bike yesterday when we did 3,600 meters of climbing and finished up a 10% climb at 3 kilometers. So that's not every day you can do that on a sprint bike. So it's proper fast, and especially the KDEX wheels also amazing. We have new 36 wheels now. I think 36,
yes.
42, 50, and 65. So we have all the areas covered basically. And yesterday was the first day I actually rode the 36 wheels, and they were beautiful. And the climbs really, really fast and really light. This is not a promo video, but I'm just telling you the truth. But yeah, I did change to.
It's true. I ride them; they're the best wheels.
Yeah, I changed to giant shoes actually after the classics this year. I was having a little bit of a problem with my old shoes, and I threw these on, and all the problems went away. I'm not saying they're magical shoes or anything, but for me personally, they were really good, really stiff, light enough to do what I need to do with them, and really comfortable. So yeah, they're going really well too.
Hey, Bling, I just want to ask you, you always come across as being very emotional. You're very passionate. You spoke about your daughter and how you rode for her, your 4-year-old, and your wife. How would you describe yourself? I get the impression also you're quite spiritual, or perhaps religious is the word. I'm not sure. You can correct me. How would you describe yourself?
I mean, it's not too difficult. I mean, me and my wife, my daughter, we do everything together. We're basically our little team within a team. They come to all my training camps with me. They follow me in the car when I'm out training. Basically, we do everything together. We don't really have too many other friends outside of our sort of little circle. We've been together for 11 years now, I think, and it's basically just been us since the start. My wife basically gave up her job, her passion, which was sports marketing in Shimano and the headquarters, to help me with my career, to excel in my career. So she basically gave up her life to help me, and I think that's just, yeah, the way we sort of thought we can get the best out of my career was just to sort of pigeonhole it a little bit and just focus on us and trying to get the best out of ourselves to achieve the goals that we dream about. And I know it might sound crazy, but we give everything for the sport, and so when I win, it's a win for all of us. It's a joint. Everyone's had an input into it, and I think when I win a race, it's not just, okay, I won another one, or now it's number 2, and now it's number 3, now it's number 4, whatever. Every race win has its own story, and I think that's what makes it so special. We have our own story that's come along with every single victory. I mean, I'm a good bike rider. I think I do well, but I put everything of my life into cycling. So that's I think that's when the emotions come out, when you sacrifice so much for the sport.
And Bling, talk us through your friendship with Tadej Pogačar. How is he to train with, and do you guys catch up within the peloton at all? Like, I saw you when you came second. The disappointment was quickly replaced with, congratulations for one of your good friends.
We basically ride together every single day when we're back home in Monaco. It's just, for me, it just feels like we're not even training. We're not even exercising. We're just two guys going and riding a bike and just having fun. It doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like we're building towards something. It's just like you're going for a ride with your mate, but your mate's one of the best bike riders in the world that can just play all the time and have fun. And he always thinks about everything in a positive way. I mean, a guy that's so successful and so talented, you see so many guys piss that up the wall, let's say, and they come to Monaco, they live the lifestyle, they go and buy nice cars and go to the casino and get drunk and whatever, party, live the Monaco lifestyle. But this guy, he has his fiance, they spend all the time together. It's just them two, and I can sort of see my wife and me in them also. And when we hang out as a group, it's just nice. We share all the same values in life, I think. So
Yeah, I got that impression, Bling, that he doesn't care about the fame. He doesn't care about the fortune. And I said that on the podcast a few days ago. He just loves riding his bike. He's a real dude. He looks at the camera when it's next to him on the road. Others are struggling in the 40-degree temperatures, but he's got a big smile on his face.
yeah, he's just enjoying himself. I think we both sort of pinch ourselves that we get actually paid to ride our bikes, where we just feel like how is this a job? We're so passionate and love it so much that when we get paid to do it, it's a dream come true. And yeah, just the way he goes about everything is just so positive, which I love that. I mean, we get paid to ride our bikes for a living. What could be negative about that? Let's be honest.
Talk to me about Wollongong. Can you win the Worlds in Wollongong?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yes, you can.
I mean, if I have legs like I had yesterday, I think yes, it's possible. I mean, I actually haven't seen the course, to be honest.
I have, Bling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you do one big loop of Mount Kira, which rises to about 400 metres in altitude. Then you come back into the suburbs of Wollongong along the coast, and then you have to climb this 1 kilometre pinch, which I think rises to a gradient of about 20%. Now, you don't do that once, twice, or 3 times. You do it 12 times.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, the way cycling is going at the moment, it suits so many riders. I mean, everyone can do that stuff these days. There's Tadej, there's Wout van Aert, there's Mathieu van der Poel, there's Julian Alaphilippe. I mean, all these guys, they can climb, they can sprint, they can time trial. It's a gamble. I think I would have probably liked to have a bit more say in the course when it was in our home country. But yeah, when I heard that this was the course, I mean, it's for sure it's going to be great for the crowd. But is it a little bit too hard? I don't know. I haven't seen it personally. But for sure, it's going to be an exciting race. That's for sure from what I've heard. Also beautiful down there in Wollongong. I've done a lot of training camps down there in my ACTAS days. So yeah, it'll definitely be beautiful. Can I win it or not? For sure, if I'm there, I will give my best, and I'll make sure I'm in my best shape to be able to win world title in Australia. But yeah, I honestly don't know.
Bling, take us back into the race a little bit. One question I do have is for the riders, there's been a lot of criticism of the ASO with their apparent COVID testing. I just want to know, when they tested you, did they just pat you on the head? Or
we were actually just laughing about this at dinner. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a piss take. We went to the last rest day. We heard that multiple guys were sick pre-test in the peloton. You hear guys coughing, everything, and then we get to the first rest day and everyone's negative, which we know from teams that staff members have all gone home because of COVID, blah, blah, blah. And then we hear all negative, which we all sort of just laughed about. We're like, yeah, good one. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. And then we go to the test again today after the finish, and I mean, the guy stuck it in the back of my brain, basically, but he just like went in and then out. I mean, don't you need to like sort of move it around a little bit for like 10 seconds or something to actually try and catch something? I mean, maybe you can just stick it in and out and it's fine, but I mean, if you want to do it properly and you really want to find guys with the virus, I think you can put a little bit more effort into having a bit more of a search. But anyway, if I'm completely honest, we don't believe the results, even if they did dig deep. I think they just they tell us what they need to tell us, and we just continue racing. But me personally, I do a test every single day anyway, so I'll know it before them if I'm positive or not.
I've got to love your raw honesty, and that's why I wanted you on this podcast today. Absolutely brilliant. Listen, we're into the final week now. It doesn't get any easier. It doesn't get any cooler. What are the plans now for you, if not this year, in the coming years?
In this Tour de France?
Well, in this Tour de France, have you done your job? You obviously have. You've won a stage. Is Bike Exchange happy? Have you salvaged a successful tour for the team by winning? And if so, what now? With 1 week to go, and what now for you in the future?
I mean, there's still more opportunities. We haven't definitely given up. Today we went for it. I think the day after the rest day we're going to go for it again. Any day that does suit us, we're going to go 100%. Any mountain day or TT, for sure we take it as easy as possible. But when it suits any of our riders, we will go 110%. So we're definitely not content with where we are at the moment. We want more. Hopefully don't get too greedy, but I think we've had a great Tour de France so far. So the pressure is actually not on us to win. It's for others to try and beat us. And I think that's the best place to be in going into the third week. There's still a lot of teams that don't have stage wins yet. So they'll have a lot of pressure and we can play off that to get more wins. And
so,
sorry.
Yeah, so it's a huge relief, isn't it, when you win? Could you sense that among the team and yourself?
Yeah, I think the best thing that could have happened was Dylan win in Copenhagen on stage 3. That took a lot of pressure off our shoulders, and then we could really just play from there, and we could do our job to the best of our ability, but without the stress of thinking, oh shit, we haven't won a stage yet, the pressure, all of that. I mean, the guys here are a great group of guys. We got Nick Schultz, which was second on the airstrip to Magnus Cort. A very impressive ride. I mean, his first Tour de France, and he was already up there fighting for a victory, and losing by, what was it, just over a tyre. That was super impressive. And all the rest of the guys are just stepping up to the plate now that we don't have the pressure on our shoulders. We're just out here with a group of guys trying our best in France to try and win on the biggest stage. And I think, hopefully we can get another one at least next week after this rest day. But we're all pretty tired at the moment. So what was your next question after the tour?
Yeah, what's happening with you? I mean, what are your plans now? You're still young enough. You're still strong enough. You're still talented enough. What are your long-term goals now?
Well, I'm talking with the team at the moment to see if we're going to extend or not. Also talking to some other teams in the process also. But I should know in the next couple of days of where my future will be for the next few years. Like you say, I'm only 31, so feels like I've been around for a very long time, but Valverde is still winning at 42. So, I mean, I've still got 10 years to go. No. That was a joke. No. I think I would like to do like another maybe 3 years of trying to continue winning. And then I would just love to help actually young Aussies or young guys with my experience that I've gotten over my years to give it back to them and help them achieve their dreams like the leaders of our team did for me when I was young.
And Bling, just a bit of another side question again. It's this tour everyone's talking about. It could be the best of all time. The stress and the drama hasn't stopped from stage 1. And one thing we've sort of have sort of forgotten is that Netflix are actually at this tour and they're filming the tour. I can't imagine the drama that they're going to add to it as they try to put it down to one episode, hopefully over 14 of them. But have you noticed them around, and do you think that has played into any tactics? Because I reckon the EF are playing into it a little bit. But yeah, I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
We're not actually one of the teams that is doing the Netflix documentary, unfortunately. I didn't even know about it until Tour of Swiss, where I was at the podium collecting my points jersey at the end, and Geraint Thomas was there. He won the overall, and he had this funny thing on the back of his hat, and I was like, "What's on the back of your head?" Is like a temperature meter or something, and it was the microphone for Netflix. And I looked up and there was a big microphone hanging over the tent, like coming into the tent and listening to everything they were saying. And from then on I was like, oh my God, this is going to be one of those Drive to Survive Netflix shows where they twist everything and they make it seem a lot worse than it actually is. Because I know a few of the drivers of the F1 drivers that are on the Netflix show, obviously, and they say it's not it's not like that in F1. So, I mean, I hope they don't change our sport to from what it actually is to something that it's not. But if it changes tactics or not, I'm not really sure, because I don't know enough about it to comment on that. But yeah, I mean, I'm also excited to see the documentary after it's finished. That's for sure, because especially when there's so many teams fighting for the relegation. Also, I'm sure a couple of those teams are doing the Netflix documentary too. So that must be a lot of stress on their shoulders with Netflix plus trying to get points to stay in the World Tour.
Hey, Bling, before we let you go, just one question from Hollywood. He constantly badgers me about the way I dress in Lycra. Now, Hollywood, how do you rate Bling in terms of his dress sense and the way he positions himself in terms of his clothing? Come on, be honest.
What a silly question. 10 out of 10. Perfect sock length, sleeve length, white shoes. Mike's rocking around in black shoes and black socks, sunglasses under his straps. He looks like terrible, Mike. Lift.
You are a suck. You really are a suck.
It's true, Mike.
Hey, Bling, I've known you since you were 18 years of age. I think when you first represented Australia at a junior level. You are a special person as far as I'm concerned. You're a special soul, and you really illustrated that when you gave that post-stage interview. It resonated to many people. So, mate, congratulations on your career so far. Many more victories for you to come. Thanks for joining us. It means a lot to us. Thanks for joining us on the Domestics. You're a true champion on the bike and off the bike. Thank you, sir.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. And I just want to thank all the support from back in Australia. When I posted the photos and stuff yesterday, I mean, just reading through all the comments, it's been super special. And I haven't been able to be back in Australia for a long time, so it is hard. Not going back, but hopefully at the end of the year I can come back and celebrate with you guys and enjoy a bit.
Well, you'll be in Wollongong, won't you? Surely they'll select you. Surely.
I need to get selected first, mate, and then we'll see.
You will be. You will be. Thanks, Hollywood. Thanks, Tills. Thanks, Bling.
Thanks, Mike.
This is a
Appreciate
special edition of the Domestics. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.
The Domestics by Black Sheep Cycling.